Hey friends. Two sisters get trapped under the pool deck and can't get out. They're going to have to try really hard to survive. This is a 12 feet deep movie, and it will definitely make you nervous. The events of the movie take place in a public pool on the eve of the holidays. The elderly manager hangs up a notice that the pool will be closed all weekend. Meanwhile, we meet the main character. Her name is Bree. She checks her blood sugar, it's normal. So the girl takes off her wedding ring, stashes it in her bag and goes swimming. On her arm, we see a huge burn mark. Meanwhile, the cleaning lady Clara is going through the customers things. She is caught by the manager, who reminds her that Clara is on parole and she should be more careful. Bree's sister comes to the pool. Her name is Jonah. She's pissed off by literally everything, especially the kids who wonder what happened to Bree's hand. It turns out that the sisters have not seen each other for many years, and once they used to go to the pool together all the time. But now Bree has her own life, and Jonah recently got out of rehab. The sisters decide to compete, just like old times. But the manager is already kicking out the customers. On a holiday he wants to leave early. The girls reluctantly get out of the water. Bree decides to show off her engagement ring. She searches through her belongings but finds nothing. Jonah points to the bottom of the pool. How did the ring get there? That's not important right now. What's important is that it's stuck in the drain grate. The girls dive for the jewelry. Bree's things are lying between the benches, making the bag hard to see. Seeing no belongings or people, the manager decides everyone is gone and turns on the mechanism that closes the fiberglass decking. Meanwhile, Jonah's hair is sucked up by a filter. Forgetting about the ring, Bree tries to free her sister. The girls don't notice the planking slowly creeping over their heads. The sisters free themselves and surface, but it's too late. The girls call for help, but no one hears them. Jonah panics. Bree, however, calmly offers to stand in the shallow part of the pool and try to lift the decking. Alas, their arm strength is lacking, but Bree doesn't give up and looks for a new way to escape. Her determination only annoys her sister. The girls search the pool. Jonah's only find is an abandoned man's swim trunks. But Bree removes the plastic flap from the drain. The girls find a tiny slit in the decking that not even the palm of their hand can fit through. But Bree breaks the plastic flap with a sharp chip and tries to widen the hole, but nothing comes out. Jonah is already fantasizing about how their lives will end, but Bree remembers David. Surely her fiancé will have to notice Bree's absence and call the police. As soon as it comes to David, Jonah goes on a rampage. Turns out she's very angry at her sister. Rehab wasn't easy for her. And when Jonah returned home, she didn't find her sister there. Bree had run away to her favorite man and hadn't even told her about the engagement. Bree suddenly realizes everything. It was her sister who took her ring out of her bag and then, in a fit of jealousy, threw it in the pool. That's who got them into the trap. The girl dives to the bottom in a rage and finally retrieves the ring from the bars. An idea pops into her head. The grate at the bottom is very heavy. If they can get it out, they'll have something to smash the planking with. But Jonah is still resentful and doesn't want to help her sister. Besides, she's afraid her hair will get caught in the bars again. Another message arrives on the answering machine from Bree's fiancé. David reminds her that he has a business meeting today and will be home late. It looks like the man she loves isn't coming to rescue her. He won't even know his fiancé is missing. The girls are desperate. Bree can't get the bars out of their fasteners. As evening falls, the pool lights go off on a timer. The phone rings again and again. Bree begins to feel sick. When Jonah asks what's going on, her sister confesses that she was diagnosed with diabetes 3 years ago. If she doesn't get a shot soon, Bree has a good chance of slipping into a coma. At first Jonah thinks it's a stupid prank, but then gets really scared. The clock is ticking. Clara finishes cleaning up. Jonah asks Bree if her burned hand hurts. She was too young and doesn't remember the circumstances of the fire well, only remembers their daddy, whose skin was blackened and peeling off, that their father was a monster. One day he got drunk on whiskey, came home and fell asleep with a cigarette in his mouth. Bree tried to wake him up. That's when she burned her hand. Suddenly the pool door opens and the cleaning lady comes in. The girls start pounding on the decking and calling for help. Except Clara, a former criminal and kleptomaniac, starts by going through Bree's things, taking her cell phone, credit card and money. Noticing that there's a security camera running in the room, Clara turns it off. All the while, she distracts the girls with innocent chatter about her daughter. But soon the conversation becomes less innocent. Clara demands Bree's cell phone password. The girl gives it to her. Instead of calling 911, Clara looks at other people's pictures and listens to messages from Bree's fiancé. Bree freezes in fear. Jonah freaks out, but Clara doesn't care about that. She admits that after prison it's very hard to get a job and pay the bills, but now the good money has found her on its own. She demands the PIN number to Bree's credit card. Jonah begs her sister to keep quiet. You can't give in to blackmail. Clara is a violent criminal who won't let them go anyway. They should just wait and someone else will come, but just waiting is no longer an option. Clara turns off the pool heating. The girls will just freeze overnight. Bree gives up and calls the PIN number. Clara leaves, time moving inexorably forward. Bree is shaking from the cold. Her optimism is over, but Jonah says they haven't tried everything yet. How about that plan Bree came up with earlier? Jonah swims to the bottom, but gets scared and resurfaces. Memories of her hair being sucked up by the filter prevent her from swimming to the grate. Jonah is desperate. She realizes that everything that has happened is her fault and she can't even fix anything. She wishes she could be as brave as Bree. Her sister hugs her and claims that Jonah is the same, she just needs to believe in herself. As time goes on, the chances of salvation grow slimmer and slimmer. Bree tries to talk to her sister about what drove her to rehab. Jonah admits it was fear. She's afraid of monsters, especially the monster they shared a house with. Bree reminds her that her father is gone. He did horrible things to Jonah, but he can't do it anymore. Suddenly it turns out that the cleaning lady, Clara, has been eavesdropping on them. She checks Bree's card, finds only $80 there, and comes back. She's not gonna help anyone for that kind of money. Besides, it's not about the money anymore. Clara's enjoying her newfound power, and other people's lives are completely in her hands. So now she's not the biggest loser in the building. Except there's a problem. Clara can intimidate Bree, but not Jonah. The girl sharpens a shard of plastic flap against the pool edge, then she sobs and begs Clara to come to the hole in the decking. Jonah says she wants to tell her an embarrassing secret, but so her sister won't hear. Clara believes the act. She presses her ear to the hole, but instead of a secret she gets hit with a sharp piece of plastic. Clara runs away. She is hurt and furious. To punish the girls, she starts the pool's cleaning system. The water bubbles and begins to arrive, and now it is not plain, but chlorinated. The sisters try to plug the water holes. They use everything down to the men's swimming trunks that Jonah found earlier, but nothing works. The girls beg for pity. Enjoying her power, Clara shuts down the purification system. She declares that it's all just a life lesson. Bad girls need to know how to behave, but there's a price to pay for that lesson. Clara demands that Bree give up the last thing she has left, her wedding ring. Bree is tired of fighting. She just gives Clara what she wants. The cleaning lady is amused by her submission and takes the jewelry and leaves. Jonah silently examines the sharp splinter of the flap. Bree settles her head on the wavemaker and tries to take a nap. Suddenly, someone removes the planking. Bree hears the gate swing open and David comes running in. He pulls Bree out of the water. The girl is overjoyed at the miraculous rescue, but her fiancé suddenly declares that Bree has no right to abandon her sister. Jonah needs her help. Bree wakes up and the happy rescue turns out to be a dream, but even in the dream her fiancé was right. Jonah really does need help. As she presses the sharp splinter to her neck, Jonah is sure it's all her fault. She's a burden to her mother and sister, and everyone will be better off without her. But Bree assures her that's not true. They can only be saved together. If Jonah takes her own life, Bree won't survive either. For her sister's sake, Jonah agrees to live. Meanwhile, Clara admires someone else's ring. Bree's cell phone keeps ringing with her fiancé. Alas, right about this time, Bree freezes. Jonah breathes on her hands trying to keep her warm, but Bree already has a new plan. She's sure Clara will be back soon. The power over their lives is far more valuable to her than a diamond ring, and Bree is right. Clara is coming again. The girls feign remorse. They confess that they've been living wrong and not appreciating what they have. Clara has taught them a great lesson. If she lets them out, they will completely change their lives. Clara is so pleased with their behavior that she goes to the control panel. A month ago, the manager gave her the code that allows her to control the decking, but the password doesn't fit. Apparently the manager stopped trusting the ex-con and changed the code. Clara informs the girls that she can't let them out, she won't call 911 because she's on parole. If the cops find out what she's done, they'll send her back to jail. Despite her pleas, Clara leaves. Morning comes. Bree is sure she doesn't have long to live. In her final moments, she has a confession to make. Bree tells her sister that she knew about everything, that she saw her father come into little Jonah's room at night. When the fire happened, she didn't try to wake her father. On the contrary, she pressed him to the bed and held him until he passed out. Bree didn't care about her burned hand. All that matters is that this monster never touches her sister again. Jonah realizes it's her turn to take care of Bree. She lays her sister down on the wavebreaker, tucks the very same man's swim trunks under her head for softness, then Jonah dives to the bottom. Overcoming her fear, she swims to the grate, but the bindings won't budge the first or second time. Jonah only hurts her hands. Deciding to change tactics, she grabs a man's swim trunks from under Bree's head. The girl slips the rag through the slots in the bars and tries to loosen it. Finally it happens. While Jonah is fiddling with the bars, Bree has already slipped under the water. Jonah pulls her sister out and tries to resuscitate her, then punches through the grate to the planking. And now the girls are free. Bree is practically in a coma. Jonah finds a syringe in her things and gives her an injection. Finally, Bree shows signs of life. Suddenly, there's the sound of footsteps. Clara suspected the girls would be able to get out. She couldn't leave any living witnesses. They'll turn her in to the police. Clara points a gun at the sisters. Jonah sobs and says that the three of them are very much alike. Clara has lost a lot, but so have she and her sister. Will Clara take the last thing they have? The cleaning lady has her doubts. Yes, she has done bad things, stealing, blackmailing, threatening, but that's not the same as taking a life. Finally Clara puts the gun down, she even returns the ring. Jonah orders her to leave and calls for rescue. Bree regains consciousness on a gurney. Jonah hands her the engagement ring. The sisters hug. They've defeated another monster and survived. What would you do if you were in a pool like this? Give us a like if you don't like enclosed spaces either and subscribe to this channel. See you again, friends.